Have you ever wondered why some people draw others in without saying a word while others shout for attention and still go unnoticed? Imagine walking into a room and feeling an invisible force pulling people toward you, not because of what you say or how you look, but because of the energy you carry. That magnetic presence, the kind that commands respect and quiet admiration, is not reserved for the few lucky ones who were born with it. It can be learned. It can be cultivated. And once you understand it, your life begins to shift in ways you can't yet imagine. Most of us chase loud confidence, flashy charm, and instant recognition, believing these are the keys to attraction. But the truth is far deeper, far more powerful. Silent attraction doesn't demand attention. It earns it. It radiates from a place of calm assurance, self-respect, and subtle power that others can feel before they even meet you. The people who master this aren't just noticed, they're remembered. They don't compete for approval, they exude it. And the difference between them and everyone else isn't in their looks, their wealth, or their charm. It's in the habits they live by, the mindset they cultivate, and the energy they consistently project. Think for a moment about the people in your life who quietly inspire you. Maybe it's a friend, a colleague, or someone you've seen from afar. Notice how their presence leaves a lasting impression without ever needing to dominate a conversation or draw attention to themselves. Their calm confidence, their steady gaze, the way they listen and the way they move through the world, all of it communicates strength, value, and authenticity. This is the essence of being silently attractive. It's about aligning who you are on the inside with the energy you project on the outside. If you've ever felt overlooked, undervalued, or invisible, know this: you are not broken, and you are not doomed to fade into the background. The quiet power of attraction is available to anyone willing to invest in themselves and embrace habits that build magnetic energy from the inside out. It is about presence, restraint, consistency, and purpose. Every small shift in how you think, move, and engage compounds into a force that others naturally gravitate toward. The reward is profound, the kind of respect, admiration, and connection that doesn't have to be begged for, that doesn't fade with superficial charm, and that doesn't depend on external validation. By the end of this, you will not only understand what these habits are, you will feel them, sense their power, and be ready to begin embedding them into your life. You will see that silent attraction is not about changing who you are. It's about amplifying the best version of yourself in a way that commands attention effortlessly. The journey ahead will teach you how to step into a version of yourself that moves through the world with confidence, presence, and undeniable allure. And once you start applying these principles, you will notice people noticing you in ways that feel effortless, natural, and entirely earned. This is your chance to stop chasing approval and start radiating it. To stop shouting and start being heard. To move from being seen to being remembered. If you stay with me, you will learn the habits that create silent attraction, the behaviors that inspire admiration without effort, and the mindset that allows your inner strength to shine through without a single boast. By the end of this, you will see that the power to be silently magnetic has always been within you. You just need to awaken it. The first step toward becoming silently magnetic begins in the mind. Every ounce of attraction you radiate starts here, in the way you see yourself and the world around you. Confidence is not a mask you put on. It is a reflection of how you value yourself, how you honor your presence, and how you hold your energy even when no one is watching. When you believe in your own worth, the world unconsciously aligns with that energy. People sense it. They respond to it. They are drawn toward it without questioning why. Insecurity, doubt, and overcompensation are audible and visible in ways you may not even notice. They leak from hurried movements, restless hands, and a tone of voice that tries too hard. Quiet confidence, by contrast, is magnetic because it requires no justification. It simply exists, unshakable and undeniable. To cultivate this mindset, you must become conscious of the internal dialogue that drives your actions. Every thought you allow has the power to elevate or diminish your presence. When fear whispers that you are not enough, when comparison creeps in and measures you against others, you have a choice to surrender to it or to acknowledge it and let it pass. The strongest, most quietly attractive people do not silence their doubts through bravado. They acknowledge them, integrate them, and move forward anyway. They are anchored in the knowledge that their value is inherent, not dependent on validation, applause, or attention. This is the root of the calm authority that makes others want to be near them. Presence is born in stillness. The ability to be fully engaged in a single moment, to focus on one person, one task, one thought at a time, creates a gravitational pull that cannot be fabricated. Multitasking, distraction, and scattered energy push people away, even when your words are compelling. When you ground yourself in the present, your energy aligns with a rhythm that people find irresistible. Your calmness becomes a sanctuary, a signal to others that they are safe, heard, and valued in your company. You begin to realize that attraction is not something you chase. It is something that emerges naturally when your mind and energy are aligned. Meditation, mindfulness, and deliberate reflection are not luxuries. They are tools for building a magnetic inner life. Every minute spent observing your thoughts, regulating your breath, and centering your awareness strengthens the signal you send to the world. You begin to carry yourself differently. Your posture is no longer a reaction to fear or doubt. Your gaze is steady and inviting. Your gestures are purposeful, not frantic. Others notice these subtle signals, even if they cannot articulate why they are drawn to you. It is a quiet language of confidence that transcends words and commands attention effortlessly. The emotional reward of mastering this mindset is profound. You begin to attract relationships, opportunities, and respect that previously felt out of reach. People are drawn to your energy, not your words. They mirror your composure and admire your inner strength. You stop being dependent on fleeting external approval and start cultivating a presence that is consistently magnetic. This is not about arrogance or superiority. It is about becoming the version of yourself that people intuitively recognize as valuable, stable, and inspiring. Every habit, every interaction, every decision you make becomes infused with this silent power. The world responds to it before it even encounters your intentions. By anchoring yourself in self-worth, presence, and inner calm, you are no longer at the mercy of others' judgments or societal noise. You have begun the transformation that allows attraction to flow naturally, effortlessly, and permanently. You are no longer seeking attention, you are embodying it. One of the most powerful ways to radiate silent attraction is through the art of listening. Not the kind of listening where you wait for your turn to speak, but the deep, conscious kind that makes another person feel seen, understood, and valued. When you give someone your full attention, you are offering them a gift that few people can truly give, the experience of being fully recognized. Neuroscience tells us that being truly listened to activates the brain's reward system. It releases chemicals that make people feel pleasure, comfort, and trust. When you master this skill, you are not just present physically, you are present emotionally. Your silence becomes a space of significance, a magnetic force that pulls others toward you effortlessly. Listening deeply requires more than keeping quiet. It demands that you engage with intention, with curiosity, and with empathy. Every nod, every micro expression, every subtle shift in your posture communicates that you are tuned in. People are drawn to those who make them feel important, not through words, but through the undivided energy they bring into an interaction. The quieter you are in these moments, the more powerful your presence becomes. Others sense your calm authority and feel compelled to open up to mirror your energy, to be around the person who allows them to feel heard without judgment. This is the kind of attraction that cannot be faked, bought, or forced. It emerges naturally from the energy you carry. Silently attractive people understand that listening is a superpower. It is the tool that transforms ordinary conversations into memorable experiences. By focusing fully on the other person, you make them feel valued in a way that leaves a lasting impression. This creates a bond that goes far beyond superficial charm or fleeting attention. You become someone who does not need to speak loudly or perform dramatically to capture attention. Your energy communicates presence, your stillness communicates power, and your attentiveness communicates value. It is a magnetic combination that people instinctively gravitate toward. Every interaction you engage in is an opportunity to strengthen this invisible force. By practicing deep listening consistently, you condition others to associate your presence with trust, respect, and emotional safety. They begin to seek your company, not because you demand it, but because your energy creates a space where they feel recognized and understood. The impact of this habit is subtle yet transformative. Over time, it compounds. People begin to perceive you as composed, empathetic, and captivating without ever realizing the quiet work you are doing behind the scenes. The beauty of mastering listening is that it benefits you as much as it benefits others. It sharpens your awareness, deepens your empathy, and enhances your emotional intelligence. It strengthens your capacity to connect on a profound level, allowing you to build relationships that are meaningful and lasting. This is not a superficial skill. It is a foundational pillar of silent attraction. When you combine deep listening with presence and self-assured energy, you create an aura that is magnetic, irresistible, and unforgettable. Every person you engage with becomes a reflection of your energy. When you listen with intent, you invite admiration, respect, and trust without having to demand it. You learn that attraction is not about how much you talk, how flashy your actions are, or how impressive your stories sound. It is about the quality of attention you bring, the depth of your presence, and the calm assurance that you offer to the people around you. This is how silence becomes magnetic. This is how quiet confidence transforms ordinary interactions into extraordinary connections. By mastering the art of listening, you are stepping into a power that is invisible, profound, and entirely yours. The energy you project is not only carried in your words or actions, it lives in your body, in the way you occupy space, in the subtle language of posture and movement. Calm, grounded body language communicates strength, stability, and confidence without a single sentence being spoken. When you move with purpose, when your gestures are deliberate and your stance is steady, people notice. They sense authority and composure instinctively. Research shows that the human brain unconsciously mirrors confident body language, creating an almost magnetic effect. The way you hold yourself tells a story long before your voice begins to speak. Every detail matters. The tilt of your head, the way your shoulders relax, the steadiness of your gaze. These are the silent signals that communicate who you are and what you value. A person who is rushed, fidgety, or tense broadcasts insecurity. Even if their words are compelling, the quietly attractive understand that stillness is power. They breathe slowly, stand tall, and move with intention. Their energy does not scream for attention. It draws it naturally, like gravity pulling objects toward it. When you embody this kind of presence, people feel safe around you. They feel compelled to engage with you, to observe you, to mirror the calm authority you radiate. Grounded body language is not just about appearance, it is a reflection of your internal state. When your mind is anchored, your emotions balanced, and your focus sharp, your body follows naturally. Each gesture aligns with your energy, creating harmony that others sense immediately. This harmony is magnetic because it communicates reliability, strength, and self-assuredness without effort. The silent power in a poised stance or a deliberate movement is far more captivating than any flamboyant display of confidence. It is subtle, yet undeniable, and it leaves an impression that lingers long after an interaction has ended. The transformation begins with awareness. Observe yourself in small moments, how you sit, how you walk, how you respond to the environment around you. Notice the micro movements that convey tension or insecurity, and consciously replace them with steadiness. Practice carrying your weight evenly, keeping your shoulders relaxed, and maintaining an open stance. Even the smallest adjustments compound over time, shifting the way others perceive you and, more importantly, the way you perceive yourself. When your body embodies confidence, your energy becomes irresistible. This form of silent attraction also communicates emotional stability. People are instinctively drawn to those who remain composed under pressure, who move through the world with measured calm, and who exude a quiet sense of control. Your posture, gestures, and presence become an unspoken contract with the world. You are reliable, balanced, and grounded. Others respond to this subconsciously, mirroring your energy, trusting your guidance, and seeking your company. The allure of this kind of presence is enduring because it is rooted in authenticity, not performance. As you cultivate calm and purposeful body language, you begin to notice subtle shifts in your interactions. Conversations flow more smoothly, respect comes more naturally, and admiration builds without any effort on your part. The magnetic pull you create is not forced. It emerges as a natural extension of the alignment between your mind, body, and energy. This is how the quietly attractive move through the world, with intention, grace, and an unspoken authority that draws people in effortlessly. Grounded presence is not optional, it is essential. It is the foundation of silent attraction, the invisible force that amplifies everything else you do, and the key to becoming someone others instinctively notice, remember, and respect. There is a quiet power in mystery, in the ability to be present without revealing everything about yourself at once. People are naturally drawn to the unknown, to the person who holds something beneath the surface that they cannot immediately grasp. When you resist the urge to overshare, when you allow glimpses of yourself to emerge slowly, curiosity takes root. The human brain is wired to seek patterns, to fill gaps, to pursue what it cannot fully understand. This creates a magnetic tension that pulls others toward you, compelling them to invest attention, thought, and energy simply to understand you better. Silent attraction thrives in this space. Holding a sense of mystery does not mean being closed off or distant. It means being selective with your energy and deliberate in what you reveal. It is the difference between someone who floods a conversation with details about themselves and someone who speaks with intention, allowing every word to carry weight. Subtlety becomes your advantage. The less you force, the more people are drawn. The more you allow others to discover you gradually, the more they value each interaction, each insight, each moment they share with you. Curiosity is a form of magnetism that cannot be manufactured. It is earned through restraint and intentionality. Mystery cultivates depth. It signals that you are more than the surface, that your energy is layered, complex, and worthy of exploration. This resonates with everyone on a subconscious level. People crave connection, but they also crave intrigue. They are drawn to the person who is fully themselves, yet not fully unveiled. Every pause, every measured response, every silent moment communicates confidence. It tells others that you are secure enough to let your energy speak for itself, and that you do not need to rush to fill spaces with noise or explanation. There is also a profound psychological reward in this practice. By not oversharing, you protect your energy, maintain clarity, and create a sense of self-mastery that others sense instinctively. Boundaries and subtlety communicate value. When you are intentional about what you reveal, people unconsciously interpret this as a signal of worth. Your presence becomes more compelling because it is rare, because it requires observation and investment to fully comprehend. Silent attraction is built on this principle that restraint creates desire, that calm intrigue commands attention, and that confidence is measured in what is held back as much as what is expressed. Curiosity-driven attraction is amplified by your own alignment with your inner state. When you are fully grounded, when your energy is calm and self-assured, mystery becomes natural. You are not performing or hiding. You are simply being yourself fully and intentionally. This authenticity enhances the allure, making it irresistible. People respond to it instinctively. They feel drawn in, compelled to pay attention, and motivated to engage more deeply, because the energy you carry signals depth, value, and inner strength. As you practice this, you will notice a subtle shift in your interactions. People will seek your presence not because you demand it, but because your energy makes them feel seen, challenged, and intrigued simultaneously. They will remember you long after a conversation ends, because your quiet restraint created an impression that lingers in the mind. The allure of mystery, paired with grounded confidence and deep listening, transforms ordinary encounters into magnetic connections. This is the art of silent attraction, to be present, intentional, and reserved, and to allow curiosity to do the work of drawing people toward you effortlessly, naturally, and permanently. True confidence is never loud. It does not need applause, validation, or constant acknowledgement. It is quiet, grounded, and proven through action, not words. The people who radiate silent attraction do not tell others how capable they are. They show it through consistent follow-through, deliberate choices, and the results they achieve. Action communicates competence far more powerfully than any claim because it bypasses skepticism and speaks directly to perception. When you act with purpose, when you complete what you start, and when you move through life with integrity, people feel it. They sense reliability, strength, and self-assurance without needing to hear a single boast. This is the essence of quiet magnetism. Every promise you keep, every task you accomplish, and every commitment you honor compounds into a reputation of trustworthiness and authority. Others do not just notice what you do, they feel your energy through the consistency of your actions. The psychology is clear. Humans respond instinctively to patterns. When someone consistently delivers results, they become a figure of respect and admiration. Words can be ignored, explanations can be doubted, but action cannot. It transcends opinion and enters the realm of undeniable influence. When your life reflects your values through measurable effort, your presence becomes magnetic, compelling others to take notice, to follow, and to trust. Silent confidence is rooted in mastery of self, in the discipline to align intention with execution. It is not about impressing others or seeking recognition. It is about embodying your potential fully and deliberately. Each small act of competence builds momentum, shaping how the world perceives you and how you perceive yourself. The energy you radiate in these moments is subtle but potent. It tells the world that you are capable, grounded, and unshakable. It invites admiration without demand, respect without manipulation, and attraction without effort. This power extends into every interaction. When you act decisively, when your behavior aligns with your principles, others sense stability and reliability. People are instinctively drawn to those who demonstrate competence without needing to prove it. They trust their instincts and they mirror the calm confidence you project. Your influence grows not because you seek it, but because your consistent actions signal value, mastery, and authenticity. Quiet achievement is magnetic because it is invisible, yet undeniable, subtle yet deeply impactful. Every choice you make, every task you pursue with dedication reinforces this silent allure. Even in moments of challenge or uncertainty, the act of moving forward with focus and integrity communicates strength. You begin to realize that attention and admiration are not things to chase. They are natural byproducts of living with discipline, intention, and quiet determination. Each completed goal, each maintained standard, each action aligned with purpose strengthens your invisible presence. By embodying confidence through action rather than words, you shift from seeking approval to commanding it naturally. People begin to notice not because you ask for their attention, but because your energy consistently reflects competence, reliability, and self-assurance. This is how silent attraction grows organically. It is a force that cannot be fabricated, only cultivated through persistent, deliberate practice. By mastering action over words, you become someone whose presence resonates deeply, whose influence is felt instinctively, and whose quiet power draws admiration effortlessly and permanently. The ability to exercise restraint is one of the most overlooked forms of silent power. It is not the loud, impulsive, or reactive who command attention. It is the composed, deliberate, and self-controlled. Every choice you make to pause, to hold back, and to respond with thought rather than reaction communicates strength. It signals that you are not at the mercy of your impulses, that you are grounded in your own energy, and that you do not need to prove your value to anyone. This restraint becomes magnetic because it is rare, unexpected, and profoundly disarming. People are drawn to those who can control themselves, who can navigate the chaos of life without being swept away by it. Self-restraint begins with awareness. It is the conscious decision to observe your impulses, to recognize the urge to react emotionally, and to respond with calm intention. Every moment you choose patience over impatience, thoughtfulness over rashness, and calm over anxiety, you reinforce your inner strength. Neuroscience confirms that people respond unconsciously to signals of emotional regulation. When someone remains composed in tense situations, they are perceived as competent, reliable, and trustworthy. The quiet authority that comes from restraint attracts admiration without the need for words, charm, or dominance. There is also a psychological edge in restraint. By not giving in to every impulse or emotional reaction, you create a sense of scarcity around your energy and attention. Humans are naturally drawn to what is measured, controlled, and intentionally offered. When your presence is not immediately consumed or understood, curiosity grows. People are compelled to engage more deeply, to invest more of themselves, and to value the moments they share with you. This is the subtle power of being selectively present and intentionally composed. Your restraint is not cold or distant. It is confident, measured, and profoundly attractive. Practicing self-control in social situations transforms the way people experience your presence. When you pause before speaking, when you listen before reacting, when you maintain calm in the face of provocation, you communicate mastery. You show that your energy is yours to direct and that you do not need to surrender it to external chaos or the expectations of others. This sends a powerful message that you are someone worth observing, someone whose company is valuable, and someone whose influence grows quietly but unmistakably. Restraint also protects your energy, amplifying your magnetic presence. By choosing carefully where to invest your attention and emotional response, you conserve your power for moments that matter. This deliberate management of self and energy heightens your allure because people instinctively sense that you are not easily swayed, manipulated, or depleted. You become a source of stability, trust, and calmness, a presence that others gravitate toward because it feels safe, balanced, and inherently valuable. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to exercise this subtle mastery. Silence, your measured responses, and your ability to maintain composure communicate strength in ways that words never could. The power of restraint is transformative because it is invisible yet palpable. People feel it instinctively, respond to it unconsciously, and remember it long after the interaction ends. By cultivating the discipline to remain grounded, controlled, and intentionally present, you elevate your silent attraction to a level that commands respect, inspires trust, and draws others towards you effortlessly, permanently, and without demand. There is a subtle, undeniable force in warmth and humor when it is wielded with intention. It is not the loud joke or exaggerated charm that captivates. It is the gentle, thoughtful expressions of kindness, the small, carefully timed sparks of humor that create connection without demanding attention. When you radiate warmth, people feel safe, valued, and drawn to your presence. When you introduce humor subtly, it lowers defenses, builds rapport, and releases chemicals in the brain that make interactions memorable and pleasurable. This combination of warmth and understated levity enhances silent attraction because it creates emotional resonance that cannot be faked. The power of warmth lies in its authenticity. People detect insincerity immediately, and nothing diminishes attraction faster than forced friendliness. But when your energy genuinely communicates care, when your expressions, gestures, and tone convey empathy and openness, it becomes magnetic. A soft smile, a nod of acknowledgement, a subtle recognition of someone else's feelings. These are not trivial acts. They are powerful signals that you are present, engaged, and emotionally intelligent. Neuroscience shows that human beings respond to cues of empathy and warmth instinctively, activating neural pathways associated with trust, safety, and social bonding. Humor, when used with subtlety, amplifies this attraction because it engages people's emotions in a positive way. Laughter releases endorphins, reduces stress, and strengthens social bonds. But it is the careful, unobtrusive application of humor that makes it magnetic. A well-timed remark, a light observation, or a playful comment that requires no over-explaining communicates confidence, awareness, and ease. You do not need to dominate the conversation or perform to be noticed. Your energy alone, balanced with warmth and levity, draws people in. The combination of calm confidence, subtle humor, and genuine kindness creates an invisible gravitational pull that leaves others wanting more of your presence. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to cultivate this energy. Your gestures, your expressions, and your words shape the emotional tone of the room. When you approach others with warmth, you are not just making them feel good, you are signaling stability, emotional intelligence, and approachability. When you introduce humor without force, you show that you are secure, relaxed, and comfortable in your own skin. People respond to this unconsciously, mirroring your energy, trusting your presence, and valuing the connection you offer. This is the essence of silent attraction, influencing others not through dominance or spectacle, but through the resonance of your energy and the subtle cues you emit. The emotional impact of mastering warmth and subtle humor is profound. People remember how you make them feel long after they forget what was said. Your presence becomes associated with comfort, ease, and positive emotional energy. Others begin to seek your company not because you demand it, but because being around you is rewarding, uplifting, and inspiring. This creates a magnetic reputation that grows silently but powerfully over time. By cultivating warmth and understated humor alongside calm presence, deep listening, restraint, and purposeful action, you create a multi-layered energy that commands attention effortlessly. You are no longer chasing approval or validation. The energy you project naturally attracts admiration, trust, and connection. Your influence becomes subtle, profound, and permanent. This is a quiet power of magnetic presence, a combination of inner strength, emotional intelligence, and thoughtful engagement that draws people toward you naturally, leaving a lasting impression that cannot be ignored. The way you present yourself to the world speaks volumes before a single word leaves your lips. Your appearance, your grooming, the care you take in your presentation, these are silent signals that communicate value, self-respect, and attention to detail. People make judgments within seconds of meeting you, and these first impressions set the tone for every interaction that follows. Dressing with intention and maintaining a polished appearance is not about vanity or impressing others superficially. It is about honoring yourself and signaling, through subtle visual cues, that you are composed, capable, and worthy of respect. Attention to grooming and style communicates more than aesthetics. It reflects discipline, self-awareness, and pride in your presence. When your clothing fits well, your grooming is meticulous, and your posture complements your presentation, people sense harmony and balance. These cues are processed unconsciously, shaping perceptions of confidence, competence, and authority. The quietly attractive understand that these details are an extension of inner energy. The way you carry yourself visually reinforces the presence you have cultivated through mindset, restraint, warmth, and subtle action. It amplifies the silent power you project and makes your energy more compelling, tangible, and memorable. Subtlety is key. You do not need extravagant displays of wealth, flashy fashion, or excessive ornamentation to command attention. True magnetic presence comes from proportion, coherence, and thoughtfulness. Simple, clean choices that align with your personal style convey sophistication and calm confidence. When your appearance is intentional and aligned with who you are internally, it creates a resonance that others notice instinctively. Your energy becomes cohesive, seamless, and magnetic, signaling that every aspect of you is deliberate, controlled, and grounded. The psychology behind this is rooted in human perception. People unconsciously assign greater value to those who demonstrate care in their presentation because it is associated with competence, organization, and respect. A polished appearance is an unspoken promise that you honor yourself, your environment, and the people around you. This promise creates trust and admiration, two critical pillars of silent attraction. You do not need to speak about your value. It is communicated through every aspect of how you move through the world visually and energetically. When appearance, grooming, and style are combined with calm body language, subtle humor, deep listening, purposeful action, and self-restraint, your presence becomes multidimensional. Each element supports the others, creating an energy that is powerful yet understated, approachable yet commanding. People are drawn to this combination instinctively, responding to it without needing to understand why. Your silent magnetism is amplified, leaving impressions that linger long after interactions end. The emotional reward is profound. When you present yourself with care, you feel more confident, aligned, and in control. This internal shift radiates outward, creating a feedback loop. The more you honor your presence, the more others respond positively, reinforcing your sense of self-worth and calm authority. You begin to realize that attraction is not a performance, it is an embodiment. Every detail of how you present yourself communicates stability, competence, and value, making you magnetic without a word, without effort, and without demand. Your presence becomes a silent signal that resonates deeply, drawing people naturally toward your energy, admiration, and influence. Nothing draws people more powerfully than passion and purpose. When you are engaged in something that excites you, that drives you, that commands your focus, your energy becomes magnetic. Humans are wired to recognize and respond to intensity of purpose. Passion signals vitality, confidence, and value. It communicates that your life is meaningful, that you are driven by more than circumstance, and that your energy is worth investing in. This is not about performing or seeking recognition. It is about cultivating a life that reflects what matters most to you and allowing that energy to radiate naturally. Purpose anchors presence. When you know what matters to you and you move with direction, every interaction, every action, and every gesture carries weight. People sense alignment between intention and action. It is one of the most powerful attractors in human psychology. Your focus becomes visible in the steadiness of your gaze, the calm in your body, and the clarity in your energy. It draws attention effortlessly because it signals authenticity, stability, and inner strength. Those who chase distractions, recognition, or shallow pleasures cannot replicate this energy. Purpose is magnetic because it is real, unwavering, and compelling. Passion is contagious. When you operate from a place of genuine enthusiasm and dedication, it sparks a response in others. They are inspired, intrigued, and energized simply by being near you. This is a subtle form of influence, rooted not in persuasion or loud declarations, but in the energy you consistently project. Neuroscience confirms that humans mirror the emotions and energy of those around them, particularly when it comes to motivation and excitement. Your purpose-driven presence creates a gravitational pull, a force that people unconsciously seek out, admire, and respect. The quietly attractive understand that this energy is cultivated, not manufactured. It comes from clarity of vision, disciplined focus, and consistent investment in what truly matters to you. Every small action that aligns with your purpose compounds over time, reinforcing your presence, confidence, and influence. When your life reflects commitment to your values, you no longer need to convince others of your worth. Your energy communicates it directly, powerfully, and silently. People are drawn to authenticity and momentum, not claims or appearances. Purpose also reinforces resilience. When challenges arise, when doubt creeps in, or when distractions attempt to pull you off course, your clarity of purpose keeps you grounded. This steadiness is magnetic because it communicates reliability, emotional control, and self-mastery. Others notice your capacity to navigate obstacles without losing alignment, and it creates admiration that is deep, genuine, and lasting. This is how passion and purpose translate into silent attraction by anchoring your presence in something larger than fleeting concerns or external validation. Every choice, every action, every focus of your attention becomes a reflection of this magnetic energy. When you move through the world with passion and purpose, people respond unconsciously to the signals you emit. They are drawn toward your energy, compelled by your momentum, and inspired by the clarity with which you navigate life. Silent attraction thrives on this force because it is enduring, undeniable, and rooted in authenticity. Purpose transforms ordinary presence into extraordinary magnetism, allowing you to command respect, admiration, and connection without a word, without demand, and without effort. Boundaries are the silent architects of respect, attraction, and personal power. When you clearly define what you will and will not accept, you are communicating value, both to yourself and to those around you. People are naturally drawn to those who maintain structure in their lives, who protect their energy, and who make deliberate choices about where to invest their attention. Boundaries are not walls. They are signals of self-respect, clarity, and emotional intelligence. They create an invisible framework that others sense instinctively, and it positions you as someone whose presence is both intentional and desirable. The energy of boundaries is magnetic because it demonstrates control. When you do not give yourself away indiscriminately, when you are selective with your time, focus, and emotional engagement, people unconsciously recognize your worth. Scarcity is a powerful psychological principle. What is rare is valued more. By maintaining boundaries, you create a subtle tension that invites attention, curiosity, and admiration. People begin to understand that your energy is not casual, that your presence is earned, and that engagement with you carries meaning. This is silent attraction in action, commanding respect and admiration without loud displays, manipulation, or performance. Boundaries also cultivate emotional stability. When you protect your energy, you are less reactive to external chaos, drama, or unnecessary conflict. Your composure signals reliability, strength, and inner calm, all of which are inherently magnetic. People respond to energy more than words, and by demonstrating that you are in control of your focus and responses, you naturally draw others toward your steadiness. Emotional regulation becomes an unspoken signal of value, inviting trust, respect, and engagement. Those who lack boundaries broadcast inconsistency and neediness, which diminishes attraction, while those who master them exude silent power. The practice of boundaries requires intentionality and courage. It means saying no when it matters, stepping away from distractions, and prioritizing your own growth and energy. It is not about being unapproachable or detached. It is about clarity and self-respect. Every choice you make to maintain these limits communicates that your time, attention, and presence are valuable. People sense this even when it is subtle. It creates a dynamic where you are sought after, your presence is appreciated, and interactions are meaningful. Magnetic individuals understand that what they allow into their space reflects their value and purpose, and they act accordingly. Boundaries amplify the impact of every other habit you have cultivated. Calm presence, deep listening, subtle humor, grounded body language, purposeful action, and passion are all enhanced when they exist within the framework of intentional limits. You no longer expend energy on people or situations that dilute your influence. Instead, your energy is focused, potent, and magnetic. Others unconsciously mirror your clarity, respect your space, and gravitate toward your composed, intentional presence. The emotional and social rewards are immediate and profound. People notice your consistency, your reliability, and your ability to maintain composure. They respect your decisions, admire your discipline, and are drawn to the energy you project. Silent attraction is not just about charm. It is about cultivating an invisible force through intentional presence and clear boundaries. By mastering this practice, you become someone whose influence is felt, whose presence is valued, and whose energy is sought after naturally, permanently, and effortlessly. Consistency is the invisible thread that bonds all forms of silent attraction into a powerful magnetic presence. It is not enough to practice these habits sporadically or when convenient. True influence and allure emerge when your energy, actions, and presence are aligned day after day, moment after moment. People are drawn to those whose behavior is predictable in its quality, reliability, and intentionality. This does not mean being rigid or mechanical. It means cultivating a life where your values, focus, and energy are reflected in everything you do. Consistency communicates trustworthiness, stability, and integrity, all of which are deeply magnetic qualities. The human mind unconsciously notices patterns. When someone behaves consistently, it creates a sense of safety and reliability. People feel they can predict your responses, count on your energy, and trust your presence. This psychological effect amplifies silent attraction because it transforms admiration into respect and attention into loyalty. You become someone who is not only noticed but valued on a deeper level. Your consistent actions and demeanor broadcast confidence, self-control, and intentionality without a single word, creating influence that is invisible yet undeniable. Consistency is also a form of power. When your energy is steady, your habits are reliable, and your focus is unwavering. You are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances or the opinions of others. Your presence is anchored in something far greater than the noise around you. People feel this stability instinctively. It resonates on a subconscious level, inspiring confidence, admiration, and attraction. The magnetic individual does not fluctuate with every challenge or distraction. They remain aligned, grounded, and unwavering. And this alignment is what makes their presence unforgettable. Building consistency requires discipline and awareness. It means showing up for yourself, honoring the habits and practices that cultivate your energy, and ensuring that your actions match your intentions. Each small, repeated act reinforces your presence, strengthens your inner authority, and compounds into an invisible force that others feel. This is why consistency is one of the most underestimated yet potent tools of silent attraction. It transforms ordinary habits into an enduring magnetism that operates effortlessly and invisibly. The emotional impact of consistency is profound. People sense authenticity when your behavior is steady. They respond to reliability with trust and admiration, and they unconsciously invest more attention and respect in those who embody this quality. Your reputation, influence, and connections deepen because your energy is dependable. Your actions reflect integrity, and your presence communicates value without ever needing to assert it verbally. This is the quiet power of being someone whose energy is as steady as it is compelling. When consistency is applied across every aspect of silent attraction, presence, listening, body language, restraint, warmth, purpose, and boundaries, it creates a compound effect. Each habit reinforces the others, building a multidimensional energy that draws people naturally, inspires admiration, and commands respect without effort. You are no longer chasing attention or approval. Your energy creates it organically. Your presence becomes magnetic because it is grounded, reliable, and unmistakably aligned. Through consistency, you transform from someone who is noticed sporadically into someone who is remembered, valued, and deeply respected, effortlessly and permanently. The way you manage energy in your interactions determines the depth of your influence. People are drawn to those who conserve their energy, who give attention deliberately, and who engage fully without overextending themselves. Silent attraction thrives on this principle. The more intentional and measured your energy, the more magnetic your presence becomes. When you enter a space and your energy is calm, centered, and controlled, it communicates value, stability, and confidence. People unconsciously mirror this energy, responding with focus, respect, and admiration. The power of presence is not in how much you give, but in how deliberately you give it. Energy management is about more than pacing, it is about quality. Every word, gesture, and action carries weight, and when your energy is aligned with purpose, your influence becomes undeniable. People notice subtle cues, the steadiness of your voice, the calm in your posture, the clarity in your focus. These signals are processed unconsciously, shaping perception, creating attraction, and commanding attention without a single display of effort. Those who waste energy on overexertion, over-explaining, or seeking approval dissipate their presence. Magnetic individuals conserve energy, directing it precisely to moments, people, and actions that matter, and in doing so, create a gravitational pull that is impossible to ignore. Intentional energy also amplifies emotional resonance. When you engage fully but selectively, people feel valued without overwhelming your space. They sense that your presence is earned, your attention is deliberate, and your involvement is meaningful. The psychology behind this is profound. Scarcity increases value. When your energy is measured and purposeful, interactions become more impactful, moments more memorable, and your presence more compelling. People unconsciously recognize that being near you is not casual, it is a privilege, and they respond accordingly. Managing energy also reinforces boundaries and self-respect. By directing your focus intentionally, you protect yourself from depletion, drama, and unnecessary distractions. This conservation of energy signals control and discipline, traits that are inherently attractive. Emotional and social intelligence are amplified when your energy is aligned with intention because you respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The result is a magnetic presence that draws people in, inspires admiration, and generates influence without demanding it. Consistency in energy management compounds over time. Each deliberate interaction, each consciously preserved moment strengthens your invisible presence. People begin to notice patterns, steadiness, reliability, and the calm authority in your presence. These patterns are deeply attractive because they communicate mastery over self and environment. Your energy becomes a signal of competence, value, and emotional intelligence, creating attraction that is subtle, enduring, and irresistible. When energy management is combined with the other pillars of silent attraction, presence, listening, body language, restraint, warmth, purpose, boundaries, and consistency, it creates a fully integrated magnetic force. Your influence is no longer superficial or fleeting. It is embedded in every gesture, word, and action. People respond naturally, drawn by the coherence, intentionality, and alignment of your energy. This is the quiet mastery that transforms ordinary interactions into lasting impressions, leaving you magnetic, unforgettable, and profoundly respected without ever needing to speak loudly or perform. The final layer of silent attraction lies in the mastery of your gaze and the subtlety of eye contact. Eyes are the windows of energy, and the way you use them communicates volumes without a single word. A steady, calm gaze signals confidence, presence, and authority. It tells people that you are fully engaged, that you are grounded in your own energy, and that your attention is deliberate. The human brain responds instinctively to eye contact, interpreting it as a sign of trustworthiness, competence, and emotional intelligence. When you master this subtle tool, your presence becomes magnetic in a way that words alone cannot achieve. Eye contact is powerful because it creates connection without the need for explanation. When you hold someone's gaze for the right moment, neither too fleeting nor overwhelming, you communicate presence, respect, and assurance. People feel seen and understood, and that sense of recognition creates a deep, unconscious attraction. It is the silent signal that says you are fully available, fully present and fully composed. This is the energy of quiet confidence. It does not demand attention, it earns it. The subtlety of your gaze matters as much as the steadiness. It is not about staring or intimidating. It is about engagement that is intentional and balanced. A soft focus, a measured glance, or a lingering acknowledgement communicates warmth and attentiveness, enhancing the emotional resonance of your presence. People are drawn to those who can hold space without dominating it, who can communicate care and awareness through energy rather than words. The magnetic individual understands that less can be more, and that subtlety and connection creates a gravitational pull that overt gestures cannot replicate. Gaze mastery also reinforces emotional intelligence. It signals your ability to read and respond to others without needing to intrude or perform. When your eyes convey calm, authority, curiosity, or empathy, people unconsciously adjust their energy to mirror yours. They feel safer, more open, and more engaged in your presence. This creates a feedback loop. The more aligned and intentional your gaze, the more magnetic your energy becomes, and the more people naturally gravitate toward you. Silent attraction thrives on this form of nonverbal influence, where connection is built without effort, words, or spectacle. This practice extends beyond one-on-one interactions. Your gaze, paired with posture, body language, energy, and presence, shapes every space you enter. People sense your energy before they consciously register it. A controlled, confident, and intentional gaze amplifies all the other elements of silent attraction. It enhances listening, reinforces restraint, communicates warmth, and signals consistency. It is the silent conductor of your energy, guiding how others perceive, respond, and connect with you. When mastered, eye contact becomes a cornerstone of your magnetic presence. It communicates what words cannot: stability, confidence, attentiveness, and authenticity. People remember the energy you project, and your gaze becomes a signal that resonates deeply, leaving impressions that linger long after interactions end. It is subtle, yet powerful, quiet, yet unforgettable. By harnessing this tool with precision and intention, you elevate silent attraction to its highest form, a presence that commands respect, inspires admiration, and draws others toward you effortlessly, naturally, and permanently.